Hey guys, this is Christine, your relationship and mindset mastery doctor and your leverage for change. Today I'm going to be speaking about the fearful avoidant attachment style and the environment that they grew up in that may have produced this attachment style. Before I go into that, guys, I want to tell you that I have some good news. I'm working on creating a membership thing on YouTube for anyone who's wanting to kind of grow and to make changes to their attachment styles, or just have who may have relationship issues or something that they will need help in kind of just working through. And there's it's a membership, so there are different levels of membership that will give you different levels of perks. So I don't want to go too much in depth with this, but it is really to help those individuals that have reached out to me that cannot really afford my one-on-one coaching at this time. So this will allow you, someone who may not be able to afford that one-on-one coaching right now, to really work on themselves at a level. But you have to do really, you have to be really, you really have to have the incentive and the consistency to work on yourself. But there are a lot of people who can do that, and so I want to give you the tools and that kind of information that you need to really work on yourselves to be more secure, and also to kind of just have healthier relationships. So that's what I wanted to. I'm working on that now. It's not completed yet. I'm hoping, guys, to finish and be able to launch it in early August. So keep tuned to my videos to see what's happening. All right, when I'm finished, I'm ready to launch it. I will put out a launch video so that you can understand what it entails. All right, so let me go back to the fearful avoidant style, the fearful avoidant attachment style, and what kind of home environment this may have taken to create this particular attachment style. As I was mentioning, this style grew up in a really turbulent home environment. Turbulent in terms of perhaps there was addiction, right? Addiction in the it could be one parent, or it could be both. Maybe one parent was addicted to alcohol and was constantly beating the other parent, abusing, physical abuse in front of the child. So this environment was chaotic. They may have experienced that their parents were constantly fighting, physical fighting. There was constant shouting, perhaps, going on, emotional kind of abuse, physical abuse. And it could also be that one of the parents may be sexually abusing the child, right? So there are different types of abuse that may have been going on in this home. There's also a lot of neglect, which, so of course the child felt that they had to kind of look out for themselves, and they grew not to trust relationships because they know at some point, in some kind of way, they know that they need a relationship. So you will see them going toward the parent, but then they also fear that relationship. So there is this, and so this actually translates later on into their adult lives when they go into a relationship, when things, they know that they need love, so they'll go and look for a relationship. But when it becomes too intense, they fear that relationship because they fear they're going to get hurt or betrayed, or they just have a fear, and also, especially when it becomes too emotional intense, they cannot take it, so they retreat. So because of the intensity of all of this kind of intensity in the environment of chaos and confusion and quarreling and fights and all kind of thing, they grew up really being very good at reading people. So they're very good body language readers, right? They can see the micro expressions from the parent who may abuse them or abuse another parent, and they can see how, and they will know that they have to retreat or hide. And the funny thing about this particular attachment style, they take a lot of responsibility onto themselves as to the cause of this chaos in the home. So they feel as if they have to people please to be loved, or or to feel that their parents want them. So they, whatever it is that their parents need, they will try to really do for them, so that they feel, this is how they feel that they, and then the parents might react in a way that makes them feel worthy at that point when they actually do something. Or maybe they're so drunk that they can't find food, and the child brings food for them or cleans up their mess or stuff like that, and they are kind of rewarded with some kind of a little bit of love or attention. And so this child grows up believing that they have to people please, and they're not worthy of love just to be worthy of love. They have to feel that they have to do something to earn it. They feel they have to earn love. And so that's how it was in that home. They feel that they have to earn it, because they're never given love really just out of the caregivers giving love to that child. Now, this in this home, there was also a lot of, I said, verbal abuse. Remember, guys, as I say, as I always say in most of my videos, hopefully that you understand that there's never any strict rule that every single one of these things happened in the home for it to create this kind of attachment style. And it is always along a spectrum, right? It is always along a spectrum. And not all of these qualities or things may be found in the home. It could be one that was very intense, or it could be multiple types of behavior in that environment that created this attachment style. So always remember that nothing is set in stone, all right? There's always, as I mentioned before, this style craved love. So they will seek out love, but they also fear it, right? And this is because they know at some level in, when they were kids, so that they wanted to be loved, so they went toward their caregivers or their parents, whoever it was. But when they were rebuffed, because they were rebuffed so often, right, to for this attention and for this love, they would fear going towards it. So they after a while would just so it's like a push pull kind of a relationship that they had in that in home environment. They also learned to avoid conflict, because in the home it was full of all different types of conflict, and so as an adult they feared it. And so anytime there was a problem that something seemed to want to erupt into some kind of conflict, they would make sure that they tried to disappear, and they would withdraw, right? They would retreat and hide so they could protect themselves, because they also felt that their caregivers were not going to protect them, because they were the cause of all of this thing. So they had to protect themselves, and they did it a lot by withdrawing, right? So this home, as I said, is just turbulent, full of a lot of stuff going on. And the child felt like they just had to work for any kind of little crumbs of love that they got from their parents. And it was not a long-lasting kind of a love. It was just pertaining to a specific behavior or thing that they did. So they felt they had to earn that love. There was also a lot of intolerance for mistakes from the child. So if they asked the child to do something and it was never done properly, it wasn't done up to the standard of the parent, then they were either abused, or they were cursed and or verbally abused, physically, verbally, in different ways, right? They could be abused in totally different ways. So the child feel that they have to people please again. This is another reason why the person now, as they grow up to be adults, that they people pleased, right? I'm sorry, there's somebody in my driveway. So it was also very difficult for them to feel comfortable in their home, because the home was filled with unpredictability and everything, and inconsistency, and this kind of a 1 minute they loved you for a little bit because you might people please, and the next minute they don't want you around, or they will abuse you, or whatever it might be, physically, emotionally, verbally. All right. So this child learned to protect themselves by retreating, and they would seek out a space so that they can go away from that environment. Meaning, and that space, guys, could be not a physical space per se. It could be a mental space where they worked, they imagined a life that was different from what they are living. All right. So I'm hoping that kind of gave an idea of what the home environment is to produce a child who becomes a fearful avoidant in their later years. I mean, the thing about it, guys, is that it is so important for parents or caregivers to work on themselves before they have children, because what happens is that they may have learned all of these things. That's all they know. That is, sometimes it's all they know because that is the environment they also grew up in. And remember that even though it's a really difficult attachment style to live with, and that it really produces a lot of inconsistencies in relationship, push pull, hot cold kind of relationship when they're in partnership with someone. It is something that can be worked on, because remember, all of these things were programmed at an age where they were not able to make sense of it. So it was just buried in their in their subconscious and accepted as true. So what happens is that at this point, now that they know there is a problem, you can now work on this situation. It can be, you can work on it and you can improve and become more secure and have healthy relationships, guys. So all is not lost. It just takes willingness and consistency for you to choose to be, to just work on yourself, so that this kind of attachment style is not perpetuated through maybe you have children or even in your regular relationships, guys. So for healthier relationships and for you to be happier and a more successful person in every area of your life, not only relationships, because this affects every area of your life, especially when it comes to doing stuff, accomplishing things. Someone with this attachment style will fear failure, so they will procrastinate and put things off just so they don't have to feel that pain of failure, right? So I hope that I kind of made sense and you learned something from this video. So if you did, guys, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and keep looking out for this new membership thing that I'm working on. I'll post, when I do my videos, I'll kind of mention where I'm at with it. And also, please hit the notification bell so that as soon as I upload another video, you will be notified. All right, guys, in the meantime, have a great day and take care. This is Christine, your relationship and mindset mastery doctor, and your leverage for change.